Want help to grow your business? Download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit bryn.ai or search the App Store today.
Hi there, I'm Amanda Stevens and welcome to Retail Renegades, where we explore the inside secrets of retail success stories, disruptors and entrepreneurs who are shaking the establishment, carving new niches and challenging the traditional bricks and mortar retail model. Today's kids need more screen time, said no parent ever. And it's this exact insight that inspired my next guest to launch a business that not only aims to give parents a helping hand with reducing the time that their children spend in front of a screen, they have a vision to create a global community of creatively intelligent children. Our Little Foxes is a subscription-based model that not only makes it easy to replace screen time with tactile, creative activities that foster imagination, it replaces the need for time-poor parents to visit traditional retailers to source all of the ingredients for a project. They deliver a complete craft kit to subscribers each month. Genius. I'm joined today by Our Little Fox founders Donna Armstrong and Phoebe Adams. Ladies, welcome to Retail Renegades.
Hi, Thank you. Thanks for having us.
This is a great story. It's a fairly new business, and Our Little Foxes really solves, I guess, two major frustrations that mums have. Number one, their kids are spending way too much time on screens. And secondly, as I said, the fact that time-poor mums find it difficult to think of craft projects for kids, let alone have the time to go and source all of the bits and pieces that they need for those. So is the success in this business in its simplicity?
Well, first of all, I am that mum. I was so time poor, no time to go shopping, no time to go and get all the tools and pay all the money for the extra craft activities. And then even when you do that, you end up with a box called the Art Box in your shelf at home and no time to go and source ideas and projects. So we definitely relate to mums who are in that station. And you're going, okay, kids, I need to keep you busy. And then they're in front of movies or in front of screens or iPads. So it's a big problem.
I think also there's this increasing evidence that shows that as children get older and even in schools, the creative expression and just being able to play without rules is really restricted. And so we feel like this is really gathering a lot of momentum. So it is in the simplicity and it is helping parents engage kids away from screens, but it's also people recognising the importance of creativity. And I think we're just at the start of that starting to take off.
Absolutely. I think you're definitely, no doubt, riding a social trend wave here. Were you surprised that no one had done it? Like, really nothing like this exists in a subscription-based model, certainly in Australia.
There were some small competitors. They really didn't get much traction. There are a couple of competitors in the States, but what we found is that they literally just do the box. What we want to do is something much bigger than that by connecting children and families around the world and encouraging them to share their creative ideas. That's sort of where we're heading, and we feel like there's a real white space that we can own.
And was the way that you're marketing the product through a subscription model, which we'll talk more about in a moment, was that part of the early vision for the brand, or did that evolve as time went on?
No, that was definitely from the offset. So I'd actually been away with my partner and our two boys for quite some time and got back to Sydney, and Phoebes and I had worked together before on another big business. And she rang me out of the blue and she said, I've got this idea, let's go have coffee. I was like, okay, yeah, let's talk about it, what's going on? We went and had coffee, and literally by kind of the middle of the morning, we had big ideas mapped out, and we're definitely ideas women. We have big ideas for the business, big ideas generally every month. And by that morning we'd mapped out what it all looked like and kind of said, well, let's just go see if there's a market. Let's see who else is in this predicament. Let's see if this is something that parents and mums in particular want. And that was the start of it. But we, in the beginning, we always saw it as a subscription business.
Yeah. And so what was the next step? How did you, you guys knew from an anecdotal perspective that there was definitely a demand for it. How did you launch it, or did you do further research before you did that?
No, we literally just launched it. So we...
Women of action,
yeah,
I love it.
We did it. We just built a simple website. We started promoting it to our friends and family and got sales straight away. And we started doing a bit of Facebook promotion and outreach, and literally within a month we had 100 customers, just like that.
Wow.
Without even a product.
And you knew at that point, okay, this is potentially a big business.
Yeah.
That was the real ticking point. It was like, well, let's just get it out there
Yeah.
and see if anyone cares. And then we went, okay, people care. And as Phoebe said, we didn't really even have the product at that point.
Yep.
Then it was about, okay, nutting out the detail. What's this going to look like? And, you know, the box as it stands even this month is so different to the box we launched with 12 months ago.
Wow, so you jumped off the cliff and built the parachute on the way down, as
Totally.
a lot of entrepreneurs
Exactly.
do. So how did you then, what did the next stage look like? You were really kind of at this point going, okay, we have a business on our hands, there's demand there. What do we do now? Like, how big can this be?
We really spent the first 6 to 8 months on product market fit, making sure that what we were actually providing was what the customers wanted. And like Donna said, it was a huge journey. Like if we look back to the first box, we're like, oh dear. Wow, we've come a long way. So I think it was really about not scaling too fast, just doing lots of research, really understanding the customers and what they value. And we've seen a huge improvement in our, not only our product, but our systems and our processes and the way that we talk to them.
And so this business really, from the get-go, was a fast-moving beast. You had a fast-moving beast on your hands. It's grown really quickly. How have you managed so far the logistics of having a business that's scaling exponentially each month?
Yeah, I think like Phoebe said, we were just focused in the beginning, get it out and market fit. So lots of working out what works, what doesn't. Logistics is huge, and we're certainly still at the point where we are packing our own boxes. The families are involved, the husbands are involved. You know, our
The
kids,
children are
Our
involved.
kids were all there on the weekend helping pack boxes.
Cost-effective
sticker
labour.
boxes.
Oh, right.
It's a very lean business.
They're very good at stickering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you've got an inbuilt focus group, right?
Exactly.
There,
Yeah,
a testing
exactly.
group for each month.
Yeah.
Exactly. And now I think the last few months has definitely been about, okay, we have a lot of customers who love what we're doing. How do we get more customers, and how do we make every customer we have love us to bits,
Yeah.
want to use us every day, want to interact, want to engage, want to show off the creativity that their children are producing. And also there's a really big piece, you know, for us it's really all about the kids and the connections we can make within families and within communities. There's also a really big piece there around parents. I think, you know, as parents sometimes we get a bit stuck on, well, what's the end result and where are the instructions? And actually the more and more we experience, and the box keeps changing to facilitate actually what kids want. And that was some really good feedback we just got this week off a mum, and she said, you know, this was provided, and this is a good friend of mine, so she's able to be very honest, but we had this and we had the instructions, and then there was actually some materials the kids just wanted to go and create and play, and, you know, and she said, as parents, we're like, follow the instructions. But she said the kids went and made all this other stuff that we couldn't have even dreamt of, and that certainly weren't in the instruction booklet.
Kids
and we
tapping
want to
into,
foster
yeah,
more of that.
Kids tapping into their imagination.
And that's what we
Absolutely.
want.
Yeah, and that's what parent doesn't want that
Exactly.
in
Totally.
post-digital age.
Yeah.
So talk us through how the business model has evolved since you launched.
So currently we're a subscription commerce business, so it's really been all about that so far, but we're working on developing ways that we can enhance that experience through content, through engagement with the community, and we're looking at the potential of a freemium model potentially which could enhance that. I mean, our goal is really, as you said before, to create this global community of children who will be sharing content. So we've got a mindfulness approach around how do we get from here to there. We're still working that out.
Yeah, so it's evolving as
Work in
you go,
progress.
which is the
Oh,
fun
every
part of
week.
it, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so what did you draw inspiration from? Given that there's really nothing like this existed, did you look to a completely different category for how you were going to structure things?
I think subscription boxes have been doing well in other markets,
Yeah.
especially in the States. There's beauty boxes that were really, you know, going strong. We're actually a really big fan at home of HelloFresh. It's simple. Here are all your ingredients. Here are the instructions. Cook a beautiful meal, no waste, no worry at the end. So we'd seen businesses working really well in that model. And as we said, we knew parents were sitting around going, I need ideas and I need tools and I don't know what to buy and I don't know what to do with it when I do.
I
So
think
it
also-
seemed like a perfect fit.
Yeah, also for me, with my daughter's 7, and I used to subscribe to a beauty subscription just to see what the experience was like. And every time it came in the post, she was like, what is it? What is it? And going through it and taking the eyeshadow out. And I thought, kids don't get mail. Like, there's something really nice about getting a package addressed to you that you can open. And so that was also in the back of our minds. How can we make this about children and make the process exciting and really get that pester power, which is really powerful.
So do you see your target audience as parents or as kids, or do you consider both when you're developing strategies?
Well, the parents are obviously the ones buying the subscription and putting through the order, so they're definitely our target audience. But it's about the experience the kids are having.
Yeah.
That's the magic in it. And I think we had a great example probably only 6 or 8 weeks ago where I'd spoken to a mother and she's like, oh, look, we've got a few things going on. I need to cancel or put our subscription on hold. No worries, and we're talking to all of our customers every week. And that's where we gain most of our insights. A week later, she rang me, or she emailed me actually, Donna, I'm so sorry. She said, I broke to the news to the kids today that we were stopping the subscription and they were all in floods of tears. Like, actually, can I resubscribe? Like, we're making budget cuts or whatever, but actually it can't be this now. It's become part of their experience. It's something they look forward to.
Wow.
Like,
That
we
was a
can't
high five
unsubscribe.
moment.
Yeah, that
Yes.
was a really big win.
Yeah.
It's like,
Interesting.
that's what we want to create, this entire community of kids who this is creating a new experience for them, that if it's not there, they really miss it and they feel like they're missing out.
Yeah. So it's much bigger than the business model. You've really got your why sorted.
Yeah, definitely.
It's really interesting that you say that. A lot of guests that we've had on the show talk about being passionate about the product or service that they're taking to market. Then there've been some other entrepreneurs we've had on that really have no interest and aren't that, not that engaged with the product, but they see the commercial potential. Do you
Right.
think for you guys, how much is the passion that you have and the fact that as parents you see the bigger purpose for what you're doing, how much of that is a driving force in the business?
It's huge.
I think if you weren't passionate, you just could not do a business like this. Like it's hard and it's challenging and it's stressful, but there's so many great things that come with it. But I think if you're not passionate, no way. Like, you would have given up.
You have to have
Months ago.
something to jump out of bed for in the morning. Like, you have to. This keeps you busy. You know what it's like, starting your own business, keeps you up day and night. You wake up. Sometimes we often come in and both go to each other. I wake up at 4 a.m. thinking this, me too. We'll have both written down almost, identical notes about something that's been triggered in the middle of the night. And if you didn't have that passion,
I think so too.
I don't know. I don't think you could get through
And
the hard weeks.
I think a lot of what we do as entrepreneurs is you pitch the business, you present, the company. If you're not authentic and you're not passionate, then I think people would know. And so I think you wouldn't progress as quickly or as well if you didn't have that authenticity and passion.
So you're both from a corporate background. You've had big careers with solid, regular incomes. Do you ever find yourself when it's midnight and you're packing boxes, do you ever kind of look at each other and go, what are we doing?
We always do that.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download Bryn, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit bryn.ai or search the App Store today.